Well, hey, and welcome to the Purposeful Pen on YouTube. So, this is our fourth year of the podcast, but the first time in a while doing it on YouTube. So, welcome. So, this season from January through March, we are going to be talking about ways to build your platform, your writing platform, without losing your soul. So, we will look at some of the practical nuts and bolts things that we can do to build a writing platform. But we're also going to look specifically at some of the pitfalls that we can fall into, faulty mindsets, and things like that when it comes to that, especially as Christians. So, today we're laying the groundwork of what is a writing platform and why do I need one? Why can't I just write? So, if you want to write words, that other people read, they have to find them. Whether you are looking to write a traditionally published book, a self-published book, if you want to write blog articles and for things for online publications, that's all great. Whatever it is, they have to find you. And that's what an online platform is a group of people who say, hey, we really like what you have to say. We want to hear more. You are meeting a need that we have. So that's all it is. So if you want your words to be found and to be read, you need a platform. So one of the common objections that Christians face when it comes to building a platform is that it feels like we're exalting ourselves and we're putting ourselves out there in a way that is not how Jesus would teach us to be, right? Jesus does not want us to be self-exalting. But that doesn't have to be what a platform is. And one of the problems we run into is that we confuse a platform and a pedestal. So a pedestal is a stand or something like that you put a piece of artwork or a statue on in order to admire it and look up to it, right? We put people on pedestals when we think that they're more popular, they're more holy, they're better than we are, they're more popular, whatever. And we do this to pastors, we do this to missionaries, we do this to authors and speakers. But the thing is, people don't belong on pedestals. No matter how much you admire that missionary or that pastor or have learned from that author or speaker, they're just a human being. And they make mistakes, just like all the rest of us do. And people on pedestals have a nasty habit of falling off of them in spectacular fashion because they're just humans. So I really believe that people do not belong on pedestals. And we certainly shouldn't be putting ourselves on one. However, a platform is simply a raised stand where a preacher or worship team can stand so that they can logistically be heard more easily. Just like your pastor stands on a stage, I'm sure, at your church to preach so that you can hear him and you can see him. Or the worship team is on the same stage so that you can hear them more effectively. There's nothing wrong with that at all. We never think that they're trying to exalt themselves, hopefully, by doing that. And that's what we're trying to create when we're creating a writing platform. So another misconception that a lot of writers have is that they believe that having a writing platform means having a lot of social media followers. Now, you can have a lot of social media followers, but your platform doesn't have to have any. You don't have to use social media as part of your platform, and or it can be just a small piece of that or a big piece. It doesn't. That's not what a platform is. And we're going to talk a lot more about social media in a special interview in a few weeks. But no, for now, platform does not necessarily equal social media. So then, what is a writing platform? If that's what it's not, what is it? An effective writing platform is really focused around an email list. That's the hub. All of your other efforts should be driving people to your email list because it increases the know, like, and trust factor. And your email list you have control over, whereas social media you don't. You don't own Facebook or Instagram. And so you have no control over those. But email lists, you do, email addresses. And so you want to do other platform building activities like collaborations and maybe giveaways or public speaking, things like that. But they should really all drive back to your email list. So if you are speaking at a 300-person event, for example, and yet you don't have a way to connect with all those people after the event, you've really missed a big part of that opportunity and how that can serve people on an ongoing basis, not just at that event. So, what does your current platform look like? If you don't have one yet, that's okay, because we all start at 0. So here are some possible next steps. First of all, you want to set up an account with an email service provider. You can't use Google or Yahoo for this. Some options are MailChimp, MailerLite, Kit, Flowdesk. Those are all possibilities. Some of them have free versions if you have less than a certain number of email addresses. You can also use Substack, which is always free, no matter how many emails you have. You can use that as a place to write your blog posts and collect email addresses at the same time. And you can always export those addresses later. If you start in Substack, you can export them later to a different email service provider if you so choose. So then number 2, decide on how frequently you can realistically communicate with those people that you have their email addresses. They've given you their address, they want to talk to you, they want to hear from you. So even if it's only like once a month, like how consistently often can you communicate to them? And then write them an email once a month that helps to address the problem that you are working with. So then 3 is to create a lead magnet. This is a piece of content, usually a digital download of some sort, that will help your reader with an aspect of the problem that you solve for them. Set up your email service provider so that readers can get that download in exchange for their email address. The details of how exactly to do that are really going to vary depending on which email service provider you choose. But they've all got ways of figuring out how to do that. So I realize that some of you are like, yep, I have all this set up. I've done this. And you already have all this figured out. Well, then for you, what is your next step? What is the next thing you need to do to continue to grow your writing platform? And for other of you, you may be listening to this going, this is Greek. I have no idea what you're talking about or how to go about doing it. That's okay too. If you would like some help figuring out your next steps, book a coaching session with me, and we will talk through your specific situation and create an actionable plan that is not Greek, that makes sense, that you can walk through and that fits into your actual life. And you can find out information about that at amylynsimon.com/coaching. So stay tuned for next week where we will talk about more ways to build your writing platform, and feel free to subscribe.